You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm Priscilla Leona, producer and host of the show, and we are broadcasting to you live from Los Angeles, California. Our show will help you to provide, will help you to, I'm telling you, I'm completely thrown off. Usually my intro is flawless, and I just got an eye full of this new eyeshadow that I decided to try, and it's sparkling, and under these lights, I look crazy. I look like Lola from the Copacabana. It's insane. Okay, we're just going to move on from the crazy, but normally I don't even wear eyeshadow, so just taking a chance. It didn't work out. Okay, our show will help provide you with entertainment industry career advice from a diverse range of show business professionals. And they work at various levels of the entertainment industry, from front of the screen and stage, as well as behind the scenes. And we have, so many different professions. Okay, so it ranges from the tippity top, which is Oscar nominees, Emmy Award winners, Grammy Award winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars, and just a whole bunch of other professions: singers, actors, dancers, models, musicians, PR people, casting agents, managers, talent managers, you name it, we have them on our show. And if you would love to appear on our show, our entertainment industry career advice show, or refer someone, please reach out to us via our website, which is questionrealityradioshow.com, or you can email me at priscillaleona@yahoo.com. And if you missed any of our shows, well, shame on you, because we've been on the air since 2003. Half of my life I've been doing this show. If you missed any of the episodes, here are the ways that you can catch up. YouTube channel at Priscilla Leona, Facebook page at Priscilla Leona. Actually, you can't, that's my personal page. You can't watch shows there. You'd have to go to the Facebook page, questionrealityradioshow.com. We're on LinkedIn, X, TikTok under Priscilla Leona. And again, the website, questionrealityradioshow.com. And we ask you for an itsy bitsy teeny weeny little polka dot bikini favor. And that is, if you enjoyed our shows and you enjoy our guests, we ask that you please subscribe to our YouTube channel or any of our social media sites, and you give us a little thumb up, maybe a follow. Oh, we have a guest, Alan Santana. How are you, honey? Good evening to you too. I knew you'd tune in for that hot, gorgeous, sexy guest we have on today. Anyway, back to, we know Alan. We don't want to give it away. We're going to have to bring Alan on and tell people. But believe me, he is a person you want to know. Fantastic guy. Again, here we go. If you enjoy our show and our guests, please give us a little thumb. Everybody needs a thumb these days. And subscribe to our YouTube channel and all of our social media sites that I will tell you about again. Now, I was so excited to have this guest on. I cannot even remember where I first heard the name Jacqueline Murphy. I think it might have been my friend B. It could have been my friend Mark Hoberman. It could have been my friend Rico No Suave. I believe she was on two of their shows, Rico No Suave and Mark Hoberman. But I think I might have been told about her via Beatrice Davis, who is a wonderful PR person. If you need any help with your career via PR, Beatrice Davis on Instagram. Okay. But let's just talk about who Jacqueline Murphy is. All right. She's a producer. Look at that little gorgeous thing. Oh my God, with the Pantene hair. I want to go over her house. I'm going to scalp her in her sleep and put that hair on. She's a producer. She's a director. She's a screenwriter. She's an actress. Her website is jacquelinemurphy.net. On her social media, at Facebook, at Jacqueline Murphy, YouTube, at Jacqueline Murphy Actress, Instagram, at Jacqueline Murphy 13, LinkedIn, Jacqueline Murphy The Admired, and Twitter, aka X, at Jacqueline Actor. And Jacqueline Murphy is a multi-award-winning producer, actress, screenwriter, and director, and she created The Admired. Perfect timing. Exactly when I said it, it just popped up. That is the poster, and see on the top, those are all of the laurels and accolades, all of the awards that she has won for this particular film. And The Admired was part of the Emmy nomination race and won over 50 film festival awards. So there you go. That is her project we're going to talk about a little bit later. Are there any other pictures? I could have sworn there were some. Oh, there you go. This is another one of her projects called Sorceress of Hollywood. And I believe that is an outline of her incredible body. And then let's see the other one. Can we see the next one? Oh, look at this. Oh, this is my favorite. Okay, so this was Jacqueline at the Emmys. I believe that was last week, but okay. And this is Lorne Michaels, who was the creator of Saturday Night Live. Love him. He created something. And my husband and I love this man. This is Jacqueline with Gary Oldman. Very, very, very a chameleon, in my opinion. A chameleon actor. Just incredible. I loved him. My favorite movie, I love all his movies, but my favorite was Bram Stoker's Dracula. But fantastic. And there we go. Jacqueline with Meryl Streep. Loved her. She's done, of course, a million movies. My favorite are The Devil Wears Prada and August, Osage County. I love that. I thought that was, and look in the background to the left behind Jacqueline. There's Jane Lynch. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but when I was participating in the acting world, I was in Glee, and as you know, Jane Lynch was on Glee, and she was absolutely wonderful to me. She was so attentive and loving, and it was just weird because I worked in a film with David Schwimmer from Friends, and we became friends, and I worked in one of his films, and at the wrap party, I met Eric Stoltz, who, as you know, was in Anaconda. Oh my God, too many to list. And I went to the wrap party, and he ironically ended up casting me. It's called, in the business, it's called Picture Picked. He picked me for this role in Glee, in which I had a scene with Jane Lynch. And that's just a little trivia there. Let's move on. Not too much about me. What? Now, here's Jacqueline with Dominic West. Oh, he's also one of my favorite actors. Don't we love him in The Crown? Oh, my gosh. I could go on and just talk by myself the whole hour, but forget about it. And then here is a picture of Jacqueline, as you can see her right there with her golden lame dress, I believe, and at the Emmys. I believe that's on stage. I think so. We'll find out when she comes on. So we're going to talk to her. Mark Hoberman, Priscilla and Jacqueline, two of my favorites. Well, Mark, you're our favorite too. So thank you for that, Mr. Mark Hoberman. If you have any questions for Jacqueline, please chime in. And then this is Jacqueline at what's called the step and repeat. I know a lot of you not in the entertainment industry don't know what those backgrounds are called on the red carpet, but they're called step and repeats. And what happens is there's a long line. Alan Santana said, hello, Mark. Oh, I guess Alan and Mark Hoberman know each other. We're having a bonding session on Jacqueline's show today. But that anything you see in the background with the names of companies or associations, that's called a step and repeat. Okay, let's move on. Are there any more pictures? Oh, it's up. There's me. Okay, so without further ado, let's bring that hot, sexy little Jacqueline Murphy on. There she is. Welcome to the show, Jacqueline.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here, Priscilla.
Oh,
well, quite an introduction, and so does Mark Hoberman, by the way. Hi,
yes. Yeah, I think you were on his show, right?
I was, and he is so amazing and generous, and both of you really do so much research on the people you have on your shows, and actually, it's just delightful to come on and, and you spend so much time, so it makes people want to give their best.
Yes, well, you look your best tonight with that Pantene hair. I was telling you earlier, my God, your hair is fantastic. As a person who's obsessed with hair, I just look at your hair and go, my God, how do you keep it like that? And I think you said you just had it blown out, right?
No, I have a beauty secret. I had it blown out on Friday for the weekend. And my hairdresser, I'll give her a shout out, Christine Fields. She is the queen of curls, and she'll do my hair. It will literally last a week. And I get up in the morning, all I have to do is flip my head over and boom, it's there. So it's just setting the curls in the blow dry when you're blowing it dry, and using, a setting formula. But I'm busy. I don't have time to fuss, and I'm a minimal makeup kind of gal. And I just, like to look as natural as I can, because, there's nothing worse when people show up and it's like, oh, you don't look like what I thought you were.
Oh, I know.
But thank you for the compliment. But that's a great tip. If you find a good hairdresser, just, have her set when she's blowing it out when it's wet, have her do the curls then, and then use a curling iron to set it.
Oh, good tip. See that? You want to have some star-looking hair? There you go. There's a tip. Now, first question. How were you associated with the Emmys? I imagine it was, as I said earlier, because your film was nominated, but I don't want to assume anything. So that's our first question.
Okay. Great question. When I first moved to LA, 10 years ago, I was going back and forth between New York and LA because I started on the soap operas. I had been a registered nurse and played nurses on the soap operas, and broke into the Law and Order franchises, and started booking guest stars on there. And then worked with great directors like Martin Scorsese, Mike Nichols, Nora Ephron, Woody Allen, Ron Howard, all in New York. So I built those credits up and I came out here. And my first acting manager, Phil Brock from Studio Talent Group, who is now the mayor of Santa Monica, he grew up in Santa Monica, encouraged all his clients, all the talent at the agency, to go to the Television Academy, which is a beautiful building on Lankershim in Burbank with, oh my God, it must be a 20-foot tall statue of the Emmy. And I loved it so much. And then what you can do, you can become a member. And they're always looking for wonderful members. You have to have the credits, and you can go on to televisionacademy.com members. So if you've had speaking parts on various shows, I believe now you can have 50% independent, 50% network, ABC, Netflix, like that. You can become a member. So I've been a member for over 10 years. It's probably like 12 years now, Priscilla. And then in 2017, when I did my film, The Admired, they started to recognize short form drama, which are web series. It could be drama web series, comedy web series. And I took my film and I made it into a web series. I cut it to have the episodes, 6 episodes, which is what they required. It had to be vetted, has to be of a quality that is acceptable to the Television Academy. But it was so exciting because we got vetted and we got on the ballot, and I was able to submit myself for, you know, the producer and as the actress and writer and director. So that was on the For Your Consideration Emmy nomination ballot. And while I was doing that, I was winning film festival awards in London and Nice. We were in the short corner at Cannes, which is very prestigious, all over the world. Milan, here in the States, behind me, the Crystal trophy. There are all my trophies back there. It is from Burbank, and you know, and that was a really great festival because it was right here in LA. And a shout out to Jeff Rector, who was the president at the time.
He's a friend of mine. I used to be a judge and screener for the Burbank International Film Festival. He was in your film Admire too. He told me, yes.
He was. And so I thought that I didn't have a chance. And there were women like yourself, Priscilla, that were judging the films, and they loved it. And in 2017, like, more women were being encouraged to make their own films, and everybody was being encouraged to make their own content. So that was a win-win. So we still are winning awards for the film. During COVID, I hunkered down and I took 2 workshops at Sundance, one in fantasy writing, one in TV writing. I was certified, and I also took 3 years at Screenwriting U with Hal Crossman, who's a wonderful teacher. A shout out to him. And I became alumni and certified as a writer for film and in TV. And the course that he taught in TV was called Binge-Worthy TV. And right now, TV is ruling. TV is slaying it. And, you know, it's everybody wants, you know, I love going to the movie theater, but at home, you know, with Netflix and all the streamers, it's like you can get your material seen. So I took the Admire, the short film about an actress who makes a deal with the devil to time travel to 1940s Hollywood to be a big movie star. But then she realizes she has a magical talent within. It's genetic. And she can create her own breaks and own magic and give herself what she needs, which is my message to people out there, is to look within yourself to see what you have inside of you to make it happen for you instead of relying on other people. So that is a TV series now, and we're shopping it around town in LA. And I'm excited about it. And I love magic, and I love time travel and romance. And so, you know, you have to love what you do. If you're going to do this business, make sure you love it, because it takes a lot of energy, and keep it, you know, if it's a passion, you have a shot.
Now the pictures that I showed, you are obviously flitting and floating around the town, which is exactly what I would have done. And you're taking pictures with everybody. And then I saw you on the stage. So my question was, you were there as a nominee for Admired. That's what you're saying?
This time around, I went to the Emmys. I go every single year, Priscilla. This year, we were not on the ballot. I was on the ballot last year with Carlos Marino Jr. for Pepito's America, which I wrote, produced, directed, and starred in. He was the creator, but I wrote and directed 1 episode. I was in 6 episodes as an actress and producer. And we were thrilled when we got vetted again. It was down to the last minute, and Carlos and I were thinking, I hope we get on, and we did. And it was so wonderful because his project was about a Latin guy who comes from Mexico and wants to make it big in LA. And it's exactly, you know, we were like living what was happening in the script. And so I wanted to help him elevate, you know, Pepito's America. And so I reached out to my good friends, Tommy and Shelby Chong from Cheek Shing Chong. And I just had dinner with them last night, and they're such a lovely couple, and he's so incredibly talented, the both of them. They really are great comedians, but Tommy has directed, he screenwrites. He's so much more than you see in a Cheech and Chong movie. Yeah. And they agreed to be in an episode of Pepito's. I'm running for mayor, and they're my big time financial donors. And so that scene, Carlos liked so much, he decided to use it for season 2 as the trailer. So we're in all the episodes of season 2 as well in the beginning opening credits, which is lovely. So yeah. So
he was on my show. He told me about that. Exact thing you're telling me about. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah, he's a great guy. He sounds very, very funny. I haven't seen him act, but I think he has great comedic timing. Now, you just went all around the Emmys, and how did you, because most actors are terrified to approach someone, say Meryl Streep and Gary Oldman and the pictures that you have. How do you go about doing it? Obviously, the men are looking at you going, oh, yeah, I'll take a picture with you. But is it different taking pictures, say, with Meryl Streep or the huge A-list actresses? How do you do it?
Well, honestly, some of them I've actually worked with. So, for example, like on my IMDb page, Priscilla, I've worked with Robert De Niro. I had a scene in Goodfellas. So when I saw him and when I knew that he was going to be in the scene, Lorraine Bracco, Ray Liotta, and Julie Garfield, that day, he came over to me. What a gentleman. And he said, hi, I'm Bobby De Niro. And I said, hi, I know who you are, so that was huge. And even with Meryl, I had auditioned for Only Murders in the Building, and her work on the show is beautiful. So I try to find some common ground or mention to them how we might have met. And I met her like 10 years ago, also at the SAG Awards with her agent, Kevin Huvane from CAA. I believe he's from CAA. But both remembered me. Both were nice. I think as long as you're polite and you do have some common ground, or you you can go over, like Gary Oldman from my acting class. I was studying with Risa Brayman. She cast Masters of Sex. And she refers to his acting so often. You said he was a chameleon. He's major. And I went to the Palm Spring Film Festival about 8 years ago, and I was at a party after they showed Tinker Tailor Soldier. And I met him. So I remind them how I met them, if I worked with them, if I auditioned with them, but it's always in some context. Like Dominic West, I was invited the first year I was here to the BAFTA Tea Party at the Four Seasons, which was a riot. And my friend Sue Wong, the fashion designer, who I always wear her gowns when I go out, she dresses me for everything. And she's actually gave me 30 gowns for the extras in The Admired and won 3 costume designer awards. Sue was there, with an actor called Nigel Daly. I think he's now Sir Nigel Daly, who was the president of BAFTA. And that year, Downton Abbey, the whole cast was there. Julian Fellows and all the cast from it, and Maggie Smith and Dominic West showed up. So I said hello. And then I also had an audition for The Affair. He was in The Affair. Remember? He was before he was the prince, the king in The Crown. That's right. And so gentlemanly and nice, but I say it in the context, we met here or we worked together, like Ron Howard, the director. He won an Emmy this year for a documentary he did. And I had a part in the paper that he directed. Oh. So again, it was like, oh, hi, Ron, I was in the paper, and that they're just so gracious. And something, Priscilla, I think the more successful they are, sometimes the more generous they can be. Yeah. And even the people that are struggling, though, it's the same thing. If you're an actor, and I came out of New York, I'm a New York actor. And so I am not frightened, of going over to people. It's sort of like you're an actor, and in New York, there's like a different kind of reverence than LA. In LA, it's sort of like very flashy and fun. But in New York, like you'll be on the set, for example, Law and Order. My first season, I had a part with Chris Noth from Sex and the City, Mr. Big, and George Zanza. Then I did another Law and Order, and Michael Murphy from the Woody Allen movies was in that. Courtney Vance, who's married to Angela Bassett, and who else? Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio. They were all in my scene. So,
oh, wow.
Hi, how are you? You know, it's like it comes from that. It comes from working with them or becoming a friend, like with Tommy and Shelby. And Ken Davidian from Borat. You remember that heavy set?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah. He was also in Pepito's because I reached out to him. I wrote a scene.
Sacha Baron Cohen was in it?
No, Ken Davidian.
Oh my God, I met him at my friend Samira. She used to host celebrity fashion shows, and I met him at one of the fashion shows, and I ended up booking him on my show, and Peter McNichol, who was Christy McNichol's brother, you probably don't remember him, and then I met, oh, you do? And then I met John Barrymore Jr. Wait, the third. So I just ended up booking them all because I, like you, being from the East Coast, I don't care who you are. I'm not intimidated by. I don't care if you're the president, you're who you are. I will go up to you and I will talk to you. And so I ended up booking him. Yeah. Wow, that's a coincidence.
Well, I know. I want to give a tip to everybody that is out there watching, Priscilla, that's an actor, or it's like, how do I break through? You know, someone once told me you have to be in traffic. So I try to get out there as much as I can, doing work, doing my own content, doing my self-tape auditions, being a member of the Television Academy. I'm also a member of Film Independent, SAG, AFTRA. I'm going to be joining the Writers Guild, you know, Producers Guild. So, you know, you have to, there are groups that you can meet people and work with, and you're bumping around town and you're meeting everybody out here. But, you know, as long as you're not like stalking, you know.
No stalking, and you're never rude. You're always polite. And you gotta use your instincts, and sometimes they don't want to be approached. So, you know, use your instincts.
If they turn their back, if they say, I'm sorry, I'm working, you know, or, you know, you'll know if they don't want to talk to you. But I try my best to remind people. I mean, I met Ted Sarandon from Netflix. I was introduced to him. If you have people that introduce you to people, that's really helpful because it legitimizes you. You're not just someone, you know, floating around. So, and I don't ask people favors like, oh, can you introduce me? Can you do
Never. That's my biggest pet peeve, Jacqueline. I try to tell people that. Don't do that. It's so tacky and low class. But they do it anyway. I don't know. What are you going to do?
Well, you know, that if it's meant to be yours, it'll come to you, you know, and try to be organic. But like, I mean, the Television Academy, I'm going this Saturday. They have an event on with the editors from Shogun, and being a filmmaker, and there are other editors from the other shows that were Emmy nominated, but I want to see what they're doing. I'm sitting there seeing like how they create and how they think and, you know, how they put things together is very inspiring to me. So that's what, you know, do what you love, feed your creative artist inside of yourself, meet people, join organizations, but figure out how you're going to be of value to someone.
Exactly. Don't be like a succubus. Don't be a succubus trying to suck favors out of everybody. Gotta contribute to the world. Now, girl, I want to know, did you get a swag bag? And what'd you get in it if you got one?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had I've had my share of swag bags. I actually saw Samira at a gifting suite.
You know Samira?
Yes, I do. I know her for at least 11 years, ever since I've been coming out to LA. And she's lovely, and her husband, and I'll give a little plug for her. They have filming studios available if you are going to shoot a project. I don't know what the prices are, but yeah, she's really lovely. But and Mark and his brother, Mark Harris, they run a gifting suite, and they invited me. So big shout out to them. And I went to a few others. But, they have the typical skincare and occasionally a little jewelry or at the Emmys last year. And I go to the Emmys every year.
Yeah.
They had blow bar. What's it? Anyway, they were giving out hairspray and combs and things like that. At the SAG Awards, L'Oreal gave out lipsticks. Or Laura, different companies. They just want to promote their projects. So it's fun.
I worked on the Samira's, the Oscar viewing gala, not last year, the year before. But she had asked me to be one of the interviewers for the Oscar viewing party last year, but I couldn't do it. But I'm going to do it for the Oscar this March 2nd. Are you going to be there?
Well,
you go to her gala viewing party?
I have never gone. I just want to show you, like my Cinderella mug.
I love it. Yes.
It sort of has on it, but it's hard to wake up when you're out past midnight. But I do go to bed on a good schedule when I'm not going to certain events and everything, because I do like to stay. I like to work out. I like to do my creative work. But I'm a member of the Academy Museum. Okay. And they have an amazing Oscar party there. So I've been going for the last 3 years. Sometimes I go to Elton John's party. It depends. Every year it's different. It depends on what's going on, what you're doing, if they want you there. So there are a lot of variables that go into it. I'll be out just like you'll
be somewhere. Now, do you have any funny stories for us that you can share? Anything exciting happened at the Emmys, like a little tiny funny story?
Oh, yes. Okay. So being that Carlos and I were on the ballot for Pepito's America last year, I decided to go to the Creative Arts Emmys the week before the Primetime Emmys. So at the Creative Arts Emmys, for people that don't know on your show, Priscilla, they acknowledge makeup and hair, stunts, casting, all kinds of things, and the short form drama and guest stars. While I was hanging out, I ran into this amazing couple, and he was the stuntman for The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie's film.
Yeah.
And we became fast friends and had the best time. And that night he won the Emmy. And they loved me because I was saying, go here, let me show you around, let me make it easy. They had the two most beautiful children, 18 and 21. And I say, take your pictures here. So he wins the Emmy, and, I wanted to leave them alone. And so I went to the Governor's Ball. You go to the show at the Peacock Theater. Yeah. And for you in the audience members. So Peacock Theater, you see the show, you walk the red carpet, you go to the show, then you cross over to the LA Convention Center, and there's high security. There are like 5 points. You have to show your card, your phone with the app on it. You finally get in, and it's the most beautiful room with a 20-foot Emmy and lighting. And in the past, Wolfgang Puck has been the caterer for it. Mm-hmm. And they have fun little things you can do, like picture taking, or, those machines where you can move around and do something funny and post it. And I'm sitting at a table with my peer group governors, Kim Estes, he's the Performers Peer Group Governor, and the beautiful Kate Linder, who is on The Young and Restless. She's been on there for years.
Yeah.
They come over. Of all the tables in the room, there's like 100 tables, and they sit down there, and I say, hello. He goes, oh my God, were you sitting there? And so the wife said, it was meant to be. You have to have with us. So we were dancing. She had been a dancer. He had his Emmy, and he's like, hold it, take pictures with it. And some people are just like, no, I have to hold my Emmy. He's like, no, go and take it. So, but we took pictures. We had fun. So that was a nice surprise that I found friends. And that's The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie's TV show on Netflix, is fabulous. They won their first Emmy for stunts because of, Mark Motro. So I was just happy for their family because they made the trip in from London. And, it turned out so nice for them. So that was like a really happy moment. But I have a funny Ron Howard story if you want to hear it.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, he's amazing. So
my friend Jim Meskimen, I bet you know him. He's the son of Marion Ross, who was Mrs. C on Happy Days, right?
Gosh, yes.
Yeah. So he said, Priscilla, knowing Ron Howard is a dream come true. He is so funny and he's so down to earth. And so he was telling me all these wonderful things about Ron Howard. Never met him, but heard through Jim Meskimen.
And it's true. He's so generous. But I don't know this. When I'm like 20 years old and I get a call because I had gotten my RN degree, my mom wanted me to have something to fall back on. And the very thing is what helped me break into show business, because when they would be casting nurses, they would see that on my resume, Priscilla, and go, okay, she knows what she's doing. So here I am living in New York, and I get a call for The Paper, the movie with Glenn Close, Michael Keaton, Marisa Tomei. And I'm the nurse. And Marisa's in labor. And Michael is wheeling her in on a stretcher with the doctors and the EMTs and everything. But we do the OR scene first before we do the stretcher scene. And I'm covered up with a mask because she's going to deliver a baby, Marisa. So I look at Ron and I say, Ron, I'm going to pour betadine on her stomach. I would say this is going to be cold. He goes, oh yeah, Jacqueline, that's really good. Okay, do that. Go to lunch. I come back. Now I get my close up. I'm all happy. The mask is off. I'm just rushing her into the OR down the hall of St. Luke's on 59th in, New York City. And Ron looks at me and he goes, Jacqueline, he said, yeah. He said, say anything you want. And I'm like, oh my God. And so, because he knew it would be authentic, a nice compliment for a director to look at you and trust you and know you're only going to make his movie, and like what you did. So that scene was with Michael Keaton and Marisa. So I went to see Marisa in a play. I went backstage and said hi to her. I ran into Michael Keaton here in Santa Monica at Huckleberry. It's like a little breakfast lunch store, and I always say hi. It's like I say, if I've worked with them, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So what's the funny Ron Howard story?
Well, the funny story was that he came back from lunch and he said, say whatever you want. Dream,
That is an actor's dream, that's for sure. Now, let's keep in mind, everybody, if you have any questions for Jacqueline, just text and we will see them pop up on the screen and she will answer any questions. Now, back to Sorceress of Hollywood. Love that title, by the way. That is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a TV series and feature film based on the admired. Olivia discovers her, I guess you're Olivia. Olivia discovers her hidden genetic talent for magic, moreover, Harry Potter. Now, how is Sorceress of Hollywood connect? It sounds like it's the same movie, is it not? Or
no, where did Harry Potter come into being? I never wrote that. Did you?
Maybe I did. I was trying to be funny. Where the hell did that come in? Oh, yeah. I wrote that. Oh, my God. I wonder if I got anything else wrong. Let me see. I wrote a TV series and feature film based on the admired. Olivia discovers her hidden genetic talent for magic. Move over, Harry Potter. That's the way I wrote it. All right.
From your lips to God's ears. When I wrote the pitch deck for Sorceress of Hollywood, I have, it's sort of like, this is film magazine we were in. But, you know, I tried to give people visuals, you know, and so you have to do comps, what they call comps. So movies or TV shows that are like your TV shows. So one was Discovery of Witches. I like the Harry Potter, you know, things that are familiar, but it's in that fantasy magical realm. And it follows, basically, it's a female-driven narrative about Olivia Spencer, who loses her mom. And one of the favorite things they always did together was watch old movies like Veronica Lake and Rita Hayworth, which is what I really did with my mom. Yeah. And, you know, my mom was an artist and always said you could be whatever you want. Yeah, but always be able to fall, you know, to be able to.
Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Yeah. I try to tell them, Jackie.
Yeah, and you can call me Jackie. She called me Jackie. She called me Jack. People call me Jack. Most people call me Jacqueline, but growing up, it was always Jackie. Coming from an Irish family, Jackie, my boy.
Irish, yes. So you're what is the status of that film now? Is that on a streaming platform or? Hold on, got a question.
Oh my God,
Lafayette. Hey,
oh my God, that's my girl. Favorite Carol for you, honey. Thank you for tuning in. She was at the Emmys.
Oh, was she?
Yes, she was, and she's a partner in crime. She was in Pepito's America with me. In fact, I suggested her. We cast her, Carlos and I, gave a beautiful performance. Happy birthday. I know your birthday is coming up, Raquel. But yeah, we've had many a good time together. And, you know, it's a community. You work with people, you have friends, even with you. Like, I'm casting something. It's like, oh my God, Priscilla was so good for this. Like, I should put Priscilla in this. That's how people work. You know, you're there and they know your soul and they get the sense of your essence. And
we have another one. Veronica Forbes says, hello to Jacqueline. I'm Veronica Forbes. And I had the honor to work first with Warden Neal on wardrobe, then a background actress in The Admired. I hope you remember her, Jackie.
Veronica, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's lovely for you to take the time. I remember your beautiful work on The Admired. And let me say, like, Warden Neal was an Emmy-nominated costume designer. I believe Jeff Rector recommended him. And then Veronica did a great job because, as I mentioned earlier, Sue gave us 30 gowns. So Veronica and Warden had to work very hard to make the scenes in the Cicada Club look really natural. Like, for example, like look at the Sue Wong gown.
Yeah.
Look at the costuming that they did.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, and here, my beautiful friend Lynn Newton. She's there. Like, look, and that's the doors of the Cicada Cup. So you know, and a shout out to my other friend. Wait, I got Pam Morgan. She's a cook and an influencer, and she came in for me. But everybody was so inspired. You put the clothes on, you walk into the Cicada Club, and you feel like you actually time travel back to 1940s Hollywood. So we were going to build our set, but my husband, who always has to throw in his 2 cents, and he's, you know, I'm married for 31 years, together 34. He went to school for set and stage design and producing. And yes, Veronica, it is old Hollywood. And I always trust his taste as well. So I was really blessed. And I went into doing The Admired, not to win an award, not to win anything. I said to my husband, Fred, Priscilla, I said, this is something when I'm 90 years old, I want to watch it in the nursing home and be and I want to be like Betty White when I'm 90 and I'm still working. Yes. It wasn't about awards. It wasn't about getting more work. It was about, I had this love for old Hollywood that from watching the movies with my mom. And I keyed into that. And I think people feel that. People know if you're doing, like, if you're doing something to get an award, it's too, I don't know, it's too calculated, I think.
Yeah, and people can sense it. Let's get to that question we missed. Alan Santana said, Question for Jacqueline. Who inspires you as an actress?
Great question, Alan. Thank you for asking that. I have favorites. I have the old time actresses like Rita Hayworth and Gilda when she's singing Old Devil Moon and she flicks her hair back. They're just moments like that. Or Veronica Lake when she, lets her hair fall over her eye. There's certain mannerisms or things that they do. Or Meryl Streep, when she has to choose her baby when the Nazis, are making her make a choice, Sophie's Choice, I remember those moments. So I'm going to start crying. So when I saw Meryl at the Emmys, her work on Only Murders in the Building is so amazing and nuanced. If only I could be half that actress. And I said how beautiful her work is, and she said, "Oh, I'm just bringing, a part of myself to the show." But we can all elevate each other, and we can elevate a show, and really, that's my message. I feel like I have been so blessed in my life, Priscilla, and I have angels, my mom and my grandmother watching over me, and I want to be able to lift other people up. Because as I showed you in this magazine, it's about the collaboration,
Right.
Like you see Sue there, and you see my beautiful cameraman, Igor Pavlotsky with Leo Andronov, who cast me in his film. And then I asked him to direct my film. And he said, I can't, I'm busy. And then my mentor at Warner Brothers, Mike Tadros, said, you should direct it. You've been doing this forever. And so I did, and I made Leo my first AD. So that also is a tip I would give to your viewers, Priscilla, that surround yourself with very strong people that you've worked with, that trust, and like, and that, will help you get to the next level, but also bring some value to them. So Jessica Chastain, I love. She's an amazing actress. And I'm really loving The Morning Show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston. They are long-time gals. They've been in the TV industry forever. Billy Crudup just got an Emmy for his work on The Morning Show. So, I try
There's so many, right? There's so many. My God. You could go on forever because they're just so wonderful. For me, it's Betty Davis, old school. New school. I love Emma Stone. I love it. She is just so free, and she doesn't care. She'll cry ugly. She'll just look ugly. She loves to. The uglier she looks, she was on the Graham Norton show, and she said, the uglier I look, the better I enjoy doing the character. So those are my two favorites. Now let's talk about, and again, people, feel free. Jacqueline is here to answer your questions. So just text the question. What about your movie Opioid Days, aka Yellowbird? And let's see, inspired by Jacqueline's real life experience as a 22-year-old nurse, which we were talking about, during the opioid boom in the 90s. It's drama with a dose of reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I wanted to make it interesting for the viewers. Like my writing teacher for Binge-Worthy TV, Hal Grossman, if you're going to, you got to grab them. The metrics on Netflix in the first 5 to 8 seconds, people are in or they're out.
That's right.
You have to hook your audience just like you do. You give like great photos, your personality. It's a mixture of many different things that make something successful. And so I created this. First of all, titles are really important, and log.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because I love every single title that you have chosen. And I just realized I skipped one that I love. But Opioid Days, aka Yellowbird, I was going to ask you. First of all, I love Opioid Days standing alone as a title.
So.
But then you've got Yellowbird. So why? What is What's
Okay, well, I always have to infuse. You're so great. Thank you for asking that question, Priscilla. I also always like to infuse myself in my projects. So my love for old Hollywood was in The Admired and in Sorceress. For Opioid Days, I had a close call with someone I love very much, a young person. And during COVID, I said, wow, nothing going on in acting. I'm going to write my feelings about this and put it into a script, because taking the classes, I had the tools to do that then. And I didn't want to create something that was schlocky or half done. So I took these courses and got certified at Sundance and at Screenwriting U. So when I was young, I grew up in, I was the eldest of 6 kids, and we didn't have a lot of money. My mom was pretty unusual in that anything she heard on the radio, she could go to the piano and play it. Ooh. And her artwork was amazing. I have, the room's a little messy. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe later on, I'll try to show you her artwork in the bedroom here. But anyway, so she had this creative ability and really fostered it with her kids. And we didn't have money, really. We had to learn to entertain ourselves. So I would take my brothers and sisters out in the backyard and see a movie about Saint Bernadette and imitate praying to the Virgin Mary and having the apparition of the saint appearing, the whole thing. So I would do all those things. And when we were sad, she would always say, look at that beautiful sunset, look at that squirrel, or listen to that beautiful yellowbird. So when I was writing my script, I wanted to have like a diverse cast. And I've had my crushes growing up on handsome Latin men. And so I decided, and I used to love to go out dancing to discos on Long Island. And this is, of course, before I got married, but I still love Latin dance and I still do social dancing. And so I Googled how many yellowbirds are in South America. And there were like 3,000 species. But so I decided to name it Yellowbird after my mom's influence of encouraging us to love nature so much. But beyond that, it's a spiritual of listening to your intuition and your own voice of what you can hear when you slow down and you are in nature. I think we all get a little more present and become aware, like when we're walking on the beach or feeling the wind on your face or hearing a beautiful bird, or sometimes, do you ever see a butterfly or hummingbird and think, I wonder if that's a spirit from the other side? I mean, I do, and I feel like it's my mom showing me, I'm here, I'm watching over you. So but days, you're in a daze when you're on opioids. And the log line was really important. Any writing teacher will tell you, like, spend time on your title and your log line, and actually should have that in place before you write your script. And do your outline and everything before you just start writing it. Yes, it feels great to write free form like in a journal, but I know I asked Taylor Sheridan from Yellowstone how his writing process is, and it is just like that. He just writes, he's that genius, but I'm not. I've got to have my outlines and hone I go with how I learned it. So the log line for Opioid Days is a recovering substance abuse nurse and a wealthy pharmaceutical heiress join forces to bring down their dysfunctional fathers, the award-winning biochemist who gambles, and the pharma king, the father of the heiress. So I wanted to make it a little more juicy. So I put in all these elements to it. And I would love to do it. I know there are a lot of things about opioids going on right now, but this has like a father-daughter dysfunctional element to it. So when people decide, am I going to buy this or not? A lot of times, Priscilla, it's like, well, what's like this, but what haven't we seen before? Yeah. So I try to make a project that I'm working on, what's like it, but what haven't we seen? And it's a challenge to my creativity. It's like, well, okay, that's been done. How are you going to make it different? Or why is your story going to break through? So
yeah, those are things you should be thinking about. So at what stage is that in? Is that pre-production, production?
Yeah. Funny, last night, Shelby Chong, I love her. She's, she's Tommy's wife. She said, so when are you going to write something else and beg me to be in that? So I said, I'm working on it, because actually Tommy would make a great, brilliant Nobel Prize winning biochemist. And Shelby could be the heiress. I would be the nurse. Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on now. This is my Rocky story after all.
Built in. You should make all your feature films. You're the built-in nurse. You could be the sexy nurse, the sad nurse, the depressing, the home. You could never do a homely nurse, though. Sorry. You're too pretty. What about Daisy's Adventures? Now, let's see. That's a comedy where Jacqueline stars as, I love that, Daisy Maisy, a middle-aged woman navigating modern life with old-fashioned values. And then I added in, think Bridget Jones meets Leave It to Beaver. Was I wrong?
Oh my God, I love it. I like that. I mean, this is all good pitching. When I meet someone, and when I meet, Mr. Netflix, in the elevator, you got 10 seconds. So, well, it's like Bridget Jones meets Leave It to Beaver,
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Hold on, we have a question. Alan Santana said, how do you keep original with all of the movies and projects that are out there?
Great question, Alan. Boy, you're attentive. I like that. Yeah. All right. First of all, they have sites where you could go on IMDb. You could go on, you go to the Writers Guild. Anybody out there, my projects, I own everything. They are locked up. They are registered with the Writers Guild. They're copyrighted with Washington, D.C. I have my lawyer. I own all my IP. So that's a very important step. When you come up with an idea, and anybody can try to steal anything, but, at least you have a trail for things. And also now I've made the admired, so that's my proof of concept. And, it's out there. So it would take, so you need to protect yourself. It's show business. So you have to make sure, like, I don't know if for your show, Priscilla, if you have an LLC for it or, what you've created, but you do have to take care of your own property and your own blood, sweat, and tears, And so, but there are sources before, again, my writing teacher taught us, before you go down this road, go to IMDb and see if there's a title like the one you want. See if there's a log line. And there are other sites, which I can't quite remember, but the Writers Guild and IMDb are great sources for that.
Yes, and there are also companies that do for a small fee. They do what's called title searches, just like they do for houses. They do title searches. So if you don't want to spend a lot of time, hire one of those companies because they can do it in like a day. And also, I want to point something out because a lot of people have said to me, Jacqueline, I sent my script into the Writers Guild and they stole my idea because the next thing you know, it is a television show or a blah, blah. And I try to say people don't understand that there is such a thing called parallel thinking. So you may come up with an idea and there's somebody else that's coming up with an idea at the very same time that you are. And maybe somebody across the world, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. But it's kind of like you're not the only one that came up with the idea all the time. There's this is a scientific thing. It's called parallel thinking. It's basically who gets it down first and who does it first. That's how it's going to get done. So that may or may not happen. I don't think so. But people need to be aware of what's called parallel thinking. A lot of people say, I had an idea for the microwave. I had an idea for this. And well, what did you do with it? you sat there and thought about it and blew it into the wind, and somebody grabbed it and they did something with it. So parallel thinking is a real thing.
You're absolutely right. I've heard of that. And even that's why I said, like, I'm steering more towards Sorceress right now than the opioid story, because there have the Matthew Broderick Painkillers is out there. There, you know, the Sackler story. I actually auditioned to be the wife of Sackler in the story that was out there, I believe, with Michael Keaton. I can't remember the name, but like I saw a lot of that. So I actually consulted with somebody, and they, you know, they said, I really like this about your story, the dysfunction in the family. And you know what? As a nurse, when we're working with addicts or families, you want to be able to help the family heal and relate better. So I thought, well, that's the message. I'm a nurse. I helped families. So here we have another question here.
Yes, we do. Veronica Forbes. She said, I've become a published author just last week for my passion project, The Witch Who Was Late to Halloween. I love that title. See, that really reaches my brain.
Good one,
on Kindle and paperback. I will be on Audible soon. Have you, I think she meant ever. Have you ever adapted script
to a book? I know what she means, Priscilla. Yeah. Yes. And I'm in the process of doing that because, you know, I tuned into this woman who gets a lot of movies made on Hallmark. And I
love Hallmark. My dream is to be in a Christmas movie on the Hallmark Channel. I'd be happy just being a background actor waving.
How about you and I will be friends going through the snow, you know, slipping on the mountain or drinking something. But this is a great tip for everybody. And Veronica, you know, you're on to it. If you have a project that's already written as a script or an idea, if you make it into like a movie, a book, then that increases the value because you have more intellectual property. You make it your own IP. So if I were to write my story as the nurse, opioid days, and even if it's like a 60-page book, publish it on Amazon. We can do that now by ourselves, self-publish. Yep. That's more IP that builds the value of what you have. Last night, we were watching Lord of the Rings or whatever, or Discovery of Witches. Those were all books. And someone found those books and decided to make it into a script. Well, I have the script, but wouldn't it be interesting if you take the book and then I have the script as well. So yeah, you're going in the right direction, and I can't wait to take a look at your book.
Congratulations. That's something. I mean, it's very time consuming to do that. Well, first of all, I got to make sure that Opioid Days is DAZE because I love that title. I got to say it again. Veronica, again, congratulations. Wonderful. And great feedback, Jacqueline. Absolutely. That is that.
What's I'm on KDP, Amazon. What's KDP, Veronica?
KDP. Kendall, maybe? Kendall. I don't know. Let Veronica answer. I think it's something related to Kendall.
No, we all learn from each other. Yeah.
And Veronica's pumping the ideas in, Jacqueline. Now, let's talk about Racing to the Hamptons. Again, a great title.
Okay.
A coming of age films. I don't know what's wrong with me. I am obsessed with titles. And I'm also obsessed when I run across someone who I don't know who does this, but you know how you'll see a show and then it'll say Sheldon, and then the episode title, a waffle, a pickle, and a lipstick stick. I think, my God, that's a great title. Who makes those titles, Jacqueline? You have to tell me. But anyway, I'm obsessed with that. So you know who comes up with those ideas?
Well, the writers generally, but I know on everything I write, Priscilla, I take a lot of pride in it. I write it, I create it, I figure it out, you know. And so someone on that writing team or maybe one of the producer who is also a writer or a showrunner, or maybe someone contributed. But for myself, again, this goes back to Hal. Your titles, your logline, your synopsis, everything you write is there to grab people and to
yes.
So I don't want to make it boring. And I know I can do better than that. I'm so competitive with myself. I mean,
That's good.
I was
Kindle. Veronica said I was right. Kindle Publishing. Now, what's the D stand for? All right. Don't let us down. Oh, okay. Alan Santana says, lady, thank you for the wonderful interview. Gotta run. All my best to you both and much continued success. Well, bye, Alan. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody. Oh, here's Veronica. Okay. Amazon self-publishing on, there you go. Kindle Direct Publishing. There you go. See that? We learned something new. Question for you, because we are running out of time. I want to get everything in. Racing to the Hamptons, a coming-of-age film set in the 1970s and 80s, favorite times, on Long Island. And then I hope you don't get mad, but I put expect discos, raceways, and roller rinks galore. That's what I saw from the title. And listen,
you tell that? Oh my God! I think I'm going to have to talk to you when I put things together. That's exactly it.
Yeah, see how I love those titles for shows. I love when people come up with a clever. That's where my mind goes. So I think
that's why exactly. I mean, because back in the 70s and the 80s, I grew up on Long Island in Islip, which is about an hour and a half from New York City, and it was a beautiful little seaside town. The Great South Bay looked at Fire Island. People would come to Bayshore, the town next door, to go to Fire Island. And my life was like about the beautiful beaches. I mean, I had to work. My first job was at Islip Marine Center, doing the bills and selling guys motors and fishing rods and worms even. That was the grossest thing. But they would come in. I was only 15, and they're like, you know all this stuff? And I'm like, yeah, what do you want? You want a motor? You want this horsepower? You want a Johnson? You want an Evinrude? And what
he said, I already got the Johnson covered. Moving on. Okay. Got another one. Raquel Lafayette. Great interview, Priscilla. Thank you, Raquel Lafayette. Great name. You have such a great personality and energy. Thank you. I love what I do, and I love meeting people like Jacqueline. Because, as a host, and you know this because you're also a host, you are only as good as the person that you're working with, right? If they're giving you energy, you're going to stay right there. And it should be like this. We should be doing the Madonna Vogue, we should when you're doing an interview. So she's a great person, and I'm very lucky that she is able to bring so much energy to the show. Oh my God. Sometimes I'm like this, falling asleep, but not with you, girl. All right. Racing to the Hamptons, coming of age story. Good to watch the interview. Thank you, Veronica. A coming of age. Okay. So, discos, you had me at discos, raceways, and roller rinks galore. I'm all over it because that is my childhood too. I mean,
you know what? So, we have to get you in a dancing scene, either on Opioid Days or in
girl, I used to rock the Casbah back in the day. I am not a person to toot my own horn, and you'll very rarely hear me say anything that I do very well. But I could dance my ass off. I'd have my 6-inch stilettos, and everybody would watch me. And I was like the queen. I could dance my ass off. That is one thing I know that I could do well.
Yes,
freestyle.
If I'm ever sad, I like to get up and move out and take my dance classes and get me going, because music makes my brain better. And a lot of people. Yeah.
Jacqueline, very weird thing. I just got my DNA ancestry profile back, and this will blow your mind. I mean, if you want to talk about flipping out, you go get your DNA tested on Ancestry, because all of a sudden they're able, amongst the many things that they can do, they are able from your DNA, Jacqueline, to tell you things like based on your DNA, one or two of your parents were great dancers and you have an inclination to be a person who loves to dance. I'm like, yes. And it's like, your eyes are green, you're allergic to the sun. And it's like so much, but I found that weird. Yeah, I mean, how could DNA tell that you are, you're a great dancer?
That. But yeah, so okay. So my first like date was at a roller rink in Islip on Sunrise Highway. And there were guys that could like skate, and they would try to show you how to skate, right? So I was up on the roller rink. And you asked for a funny story. So Alan was casting Radio Days in New York City. So my girlfriend and I go to this open call in this church. And he's behind a curtain because he was like very shy. And he looks at us and he goes, okay. And then next thing we know, he calls us in and he said, you roller skate? And I said, oh yeah, I roller skate. So he cast me to be one of the roller skaters in Radio Days. So it was so cool. We had to go down to the fashion district and get our costume period pieces. And they pay you when you go to get your wardrobe when you're in a film. Mm-hmm. And so they're fitting me with seam stockings and a pocketbook and a hat and of the period of, I think, the 50s. And I'll get on the set that day. Well, first of all, my girlfriend Sandy and I, there was a disco roller rink in the village. And we're like, oh my God, we better go down there and start taking lessons. Because if we screw this up with Woody Allen, forget about it. Yeah. So we went down there and we were like on the roller skates, trying to get ourselves ready. So then we go to set and I have my pocketbook as I'm roller skating. And it wasn't the easiest thing. Well, don't you know? They yell action and I'm going and going around the rink and I'm thinking, okay, great. I got my balance. It's all good. Next thing I know, the strap of the pocketbook breaks. The bag goes across the floor. I hear Woody yell, cut. And I'm like, oh my God, and he was nice. It was just like an accident with the bag. Yeah. I was like so embarrassed. Like it's the last thing you want to do is have someone called cut on a scene, but it was fun. It was fun. But this movie, it's really a heart-filled movie. This Latin family moved into our neighborhood and they would be dancing on the stoop. And I never saw anything like that. Joey Perez and Eddie Pagan. And I go by the house and they're all like grooving. Hey, you want to come and dance with us? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I start dancing and I'm really enjoying it. And I learned how to Latin dance and social dance from these people that we became friends with. And it was really great. And then so the discos were rolling and that was my social life. I would go work at the hospital and come home and go to sleep and then go out on the weekends on my day off and start at 10 or 11 because you never went out before then.
Oh my God. See, my husband doesn't understand this. I tell that story all the time. You don't eat, you start getting dressed at 8. You don't even go out until 11 o'clock.
Oh, right.
Now I'm asleep by 8, for God's sake. But yeah. And then I also noticed that you use the same word I do. People make fun of me. Pocketbook. That's how you know you're old school East Coast. Because everybody says purse. I say pocketbook. Where's my pocketbook?
Right. My grandmother used to call it pocketbook.
Yeah, pocketbook. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a really great time. And
thank you, Veronica. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Veronica. And so
that was a great time. So different.
And then the Hamptons was like 45 minutes away from my house. So I'd go out there because it was just so much more fun. Or you'd go to Fire Island, but if you missed the ferry by a certain hour, you was sleeping on the beach, which is what happened to my whole senior prom class. So we missed the boat, and we were all sleeping on the beach then overnight, and then got the boat back the next morning from Kismet. So it wasn't Kismet then, but yeah. So that was just a poignant time, and we lived by Islip Speedway, which was racing. Racing was a big thing. Like Paul Newman came out to Bridgehampton and wanted to race his car there. So there was like a lot of action, and that was another social connection. Like the noise was somewhat loud from the Speedway. So we would get free tickets. So that would be our Saturday night. And my sister's best friend, her father owned the raceway, and his name was Larry Mendelson. And he was the first person to have ABC come and televise the crashing of the cars, the Derby car. So there's like a lot of fun little history things, but it's about growing up. And
all right, what character do you play in Racing to the Hamptons, and where is it now? What stage?
Okay, well, I have the script. I'm still perfecting it because before I send it out, although I'm quick, if someone called me up and said, "Hey, I love your idea. Can you do it?" I could do it. I wanted to build that confidence in myself, which is why during COVID was the perfect time to learn and get into my writing.
It looks like you got a lot done because you got Racing to the Hamptons as a script. You got Opioid Days as a script.
Well, that was the first one. That's way done. Yeah.
And Daisy's Adventure too. So you're ready to go. Somebody says, "Hey, let's make it happen." You're on it. Now let's go to your entertainment with Jacqueline Murphy. That is Jacqueline dives into the entertainment world, sharing stories and interviews with industry insiders, plus travel and more. Love it. That's right up my alley. Tell me about. Now, is that a podcast that you have?
Yeah, we're on E360 along with Mark Koberman and Rico Nosuave. I'm up on there. Right now, it started back in 2006. I was asked to interview Ang Lee, the director, and Maya Lin and Eve Engsler at the Asia Society. And there was a strike. So I thought, oh my God, this is just great. Again, COVID, I was writing during the strike. I was like interviewing people, and I love talking to people. And I guess it's the Irish in me. Like any conversation, anytime, anywhere is good for me. So it started then. And of course, acting is my first love. I'd love to, be on a network show or, something like that, or in a movie, but winners make their own breaks. And I like to be able to create my own content. So with that, there was, there's Albert. Hi, Albert.
Oh, yeah. You know what? He's saying that because we are way past our time schedule to play your videos. Why don't we do that? We'll come back to the interview because people write in questions if you want to ask Jacqueline. But right now we are going to be treated with 1 minute to 2 minute. We're not going to play the whole thing because it's obviously very long. But we're going to play 1 minute to 2 minutes of her video clips from her various projects. So without further ado, let's see Jacqueline in action.
I'll give you my decision tomorrow. How does this work for my calendar, Miss Trudeau?
9 a.m., Judge.
Have you seen Billy?
Why don't you sit down for a minute?
Sure. Listen, I didn't get a chance to read the script yet.
Don't worry about it. We just offered the role to Starlet.
You told me that role was written for me.
That's not exactly true. If you still want to work on the picture, I can offer you the role of the mother.
How dare you?
Oh, Quinn, I am so unhappy. It's just not what I expected. Everybody is lying and backstabbing, and I just don't...
Honey, life is not like the movies.
Don't leave.
I feel terrible. Of course you can't see it in my face because of all the Botox I've had, and I can't cry because of all the work I've had done on my eyes, but trust me, I feel very sad.
This isn't my script.
Oh, I made some rewrites.
She walks out of a jail. I can't agree to that.
Miriam, it has humanity. See those 3 actresses over there?
It has a Scorsese feel to it.
Well, as their largest donors, we approve you.
Absolutely at your service.
I love your persistence, but I already have a full team.
Permits will be done once we get the deposit.
When do you need that by?
Well, how fast do you want this by?
Pronto. Mañana. Just one thing. I get to select the talent. Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Surely you could do better than this.
Come on, sunshine. It's game time. Squad's waiting. Pretty sure Santa is now on the naughty list.
Fucking hell!
I think Santa had a little too much rum in his eggnog.
Fucking Christmas!
Guess what? They have sleigh parking at the bar.
The search is ongoing for the killer of Mexico's Minister of Defense. Mexican authorities have no leads, and the investigation continues. Up next, with some breaking news about the earthquake in India and some photos of the new Yankee Stadium.
Really? You know what I think? I think you should steal him back. That would teach Danny a lesson. Well, having had several husbands, I'd say just look glamorous and seduce him.
They keep saying I'm right for the part and someone else gets it.
Can't you think about something other than your work?
This is my dream.
I apologize for the interruption.
And who are you?
Mr. Z.
I want to be a glamorous Hollywood movie star.
Everything has a price.
This is the ticket to your future. Once you do this, there will be no turning back. Agreed?
Agreed.
Tonight, we have a very special guest, the award-winning actress, Miss Olivia Spencer.
I've been looking all over for you.
Very pleased.
When you're admired,
Olivia, I love your work. I'm your biggest fan.
your heart, you never need to worry.
Sam,
Why don't you sit down for a minute?
anything for the head of the studio.
We just offered the role to Starlet.
And I can't wait for you to play my mother. Someone's in love with you.
Your husband's career has been doing poorly.
When are we gonna be together?
I want my life back.
With you.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Murphy. Hi, and I'm Jacqueline Murphy.
I'm Jacqueline Murphy, and it's Academy Awards night.
Desperado. Hello, Jacqueline. How are you?
Oh, ça va. C'est très bien. We had a lovely time in Sundance together, and I think we're on the same schedule. Now, Cheryl, I've been watching you on Ray Donovan. My amazing friend who's nominated on Abbott Elementary.
That's right.
Cheryl, you are an inspiration and a life changer.
Thank you.
We'll keep you on your seat. You'll never be bored with us. I'm a New York actress, and you have inspired me all along the way. Is there any advice you could give us?
Just follow your gut.
It's better to know the devil you're dancing with.
Well, and in our case, you know that's right.
What a treat to have Freddie Wexler on the carpet. I just happen to know you from New York. I know your mom and dad. She's amazing, very talented. Gloria, your daughter had a song that you put in the Broadway.
Yes.
You are going to be on Broadway in a new show coming up with Kelly O'Hara.
That's right.
Talk to me about I Need to Wake Up. I won an Oscar, 2 Grammys for the movie An Inconvenient Truth. That was amazing. And I'm here with the handsome, talented...
Thank you. Vincent and Paul, I'm so happy to be here.
You've manifested your career.
Manifested it.
And empowering other women. I love it.
But you know, these plans take a long time.
They do, and you put your heart and soul into everything you do. I'm here with the man of the hour, Mr. Ted Baer, who I believe started the Movie Guide Awards.
We started the Movie Guide.
No, back in the day, I actually worked on The Cosby Show. It was brave of you to deal with a subject like that.
And let's be clear, it was more brave of the survivors who showed up to tell their stories.
I love that you said that too.
Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacqueline Murphy and I'm with Sandra Santiago and we're at AFM.
One of the 2 young ladies I'm interviewing with is one of those people who I discovered indirectly. She was already doing great on her own, and that's Jacqueline Murphy.
You are so multi-talented yourself. Hopefully your film will be a helping hand that someone will feel I'm not alone, and you shed some light on that. Exactly. And I really love that. So how do you find that as an actress? How do you go into that dark side? Hi, Wolfgang. Whoa. You have a lot of charm. That's probably why they gave you the honor. I wish you all the luck with your new venture.
Well, thank you so much, and you are one of the best in the media, and you're one of my mentors, and it's great to see you.
Kate is involved in so many wonderful things, and she's also a friend. She was in the Christmas parade going down Hollywood Boulevard looking glamorous and beautiful. He's going to make his directorial debut in, please tell me, David.
Linked.
Well, winners make their own breaks, and I really love David's messages.
I am the fashionista of the show.
With this outfit. Yes. What are you wearing? Well, no wonder they cast her as the fashionista.
You went through the Music Cares program for rehab.
The care that was given to me also led me to be of service.
You're really amazing. It reminded me of the Beatles.
Thank you very much. That's a very big compliment.
Yeah, just premiered at Sundance.
Is the name of the film 10 Lives or the song?
It's
or
an
both?
animated film. The song is called See Me.
So here I am, feeling on top of the world.
Wow! I wanted to say more. I was like, what? Who? What? I'm looking in the background. Oh my God! How exciting your life is!
Aw, thank you.
How can you stand yourself?
Like I said, I have angels. I feel blessed, and I always pay it forward whenever I can. You know.
Well, you're a great interviewer. I mean, you have such a natural connection to them. They have been interviewed. These stars have been interviewed millions and millions of times. And usually they try to just say one word or maybe just a little bit, and they want to move on. They want to move on and get their swag back. But you have the ability to know a little bit about them or the project or something that keeps them present. And it keeps that eye contact and keeps them locked in and engaged to the moment. And that's very difficult to do.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Especially coming from you. Yeah. I mean, it's for me.
Hosting's a difficult job. And a lot of people, you make it look easy. It's not.
Honestly, Priscilla, for me, like I said, like my husband laughs at me, I can walk into any room and start a conversation. It's fun for me. It's natural. Like someone said to me, are you going to prepare for Priscilla tonight? And I said, no, I'm just going to go. Like, it's like even in acting on the stage, I prepare ahead of time. Like I went on, you amazed me. You had all my links and you put so much thought and you did beautifully. But once I'm there, I'm present. I'm having fun, because if I'm not having fun, I'll do something else.
Right.
And, I love what I do. I knew from a very young age that this was it. At 3 years old, I was watching Mae West with my grandfather, and then they go out to have dinner with company, and no one was paying attention to me. And I put on red lipstick, high heels, and my grandmother's fake fur. And I walk into the kitchen, and I adored my grandfather. And I go, hello, big boy. Why don't you come see me sometime? I had no idea what it meant, but I was imitating what I saw, and I was enjoying it. And I also, how do I break the ice? All these adults are talking. How do I get them to see me? And make them laugh and connect to me. So it's been a while since I watched my hosting reel, but like I was saying, how do I talk to people when I'm out at a function? It's like, I find something about them or a connection that I had with them. And because I know about me, I don't need to hear myself talk. I want to learn about other people. And just like John Bon Jovi said, I want to make a memory, Now,
I have to ask you this, because it seems like we love the same old stars, but you haven't mentioned my absolute obsession, and I want to know if we're compatible, okay? Mae West, oh my God, I love her. But how do you feel about Jean Harlow?
Oh my God. Okay, I told you about my mother's artwork. Hold on. Hold the fort.
Oh my God, don't tell me you love Jean Harlow as much as I do. I can't find anybody who loves Jean Harlow out here.
This painting is huge. I don't know if your audience is going to see it, but this is Jean Harlow that my mother did. And hold on.
With a little Betty Davis eye action. Oh, I love that.
And, this is my mother's artwork. And
that's
I have
beautiful.
she said, "What colors do you want me to make it?" And I said, my apartment was, I had these sponge sheets that were pink and turquoise, so she custom made it for me. Yeah, so
we love Jean Harlow. Yeah, Betty Davis, Jean. Oh, my absolute favorite, Betty Davis. Woo! That woman could walk in a room and she would own it. And I love confident women. I can always sense when they're not confident and they're waiting for their line to be read. And not too many old actresses did that, but a lot of them did do that. But boy, that Betty Davis and Jean Harlow and Marilyn Monroe, I hate that she gets a bad rap. That woman was a very intelligent woman, and not a lot of people realize that. She was a very good actor. Oh, I wanted to talk about your, when I was watching your reel, your comedic timing. Oh my God, it was so good. I loved you in that one scene when, see, you were taking your glasses off, and I could tell that you weren't planning on having such a hard time with them. But you made it work. And I know that wasn't supposed to happen, because I always know that, but you fitted into the scene. You made that scene work.
And thank you. Yeah, it was a great mistake. They say accidents happen, but then I thought, oh my God. And like, when your instrument was sharp. So I said, oh my God, when I put them back on, and if I go like this and I'm looking like an old lady, like what the hell is going on, beautiful girl?
Yeah, you got to think about that's another thing, people. Even if you want to be a dramatic actor, take improv classes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I took improv at Stella Adler Studio. When I came here, my manager, Phil Brock, who I said was now the mayor of Santa Monica, he encouraged, I went to the Groundlings. I studied there. And my husband is hysterically funny. And I swear to God.
Your husband? You keep saying your husband. What is his name?
Fred. He has a different last name. Yeah, Fred. Yeah.
Fred and Jackie. I like it. That could be a sitcom. Is he in the entertainment industry too?
He has a total love for it. He went to school for set and stage design and producing. When I met him in Sacaponic at the beach in the Hamptons, he was reading a play. He was thinking about helping these actors get produced. And I was in a play off Broadway at the Samuel Beckett Theater, and we hit it off. And I said, would you mind videoing the play for us for Actors Equity? And he said, sure. And I just knew. And fast forward, he took a commercial producing course with Manny Eisenberg, who was a big Broadway producer. And he met this guy, Mikado Noguchi. And Mikado went to Lincoln Center and saw the Blue Man Group. Now we're talking 1990. I had just met Fred, and we had a VHS to decide whether we wanted to invest in the Blue Man Group or not. We had to walk up to this walk-up, put the tape in the guy's VHS, and we said, Fred looked at me and he goes, what do you think? Should I invest? And I said, yeah, it's good. It's different. And fast forward, and here we are. So, he got involved in the show on Broadway, Bryan Cranston's All the Way, where Bryan played LBJ, and then HBO picked it up and had a show with Bryan Cranston, who's incredibly talented, and Fred got a picture of Bryan, but we got involved and it worked out because we not only did well with the show, but we did the movie. And so when I'm doing my work, Priscilla, like he's a businessman. He's got good, he's got taste. He knows what works, and he's a good critic, and he does it in a way that it only makes it better. And on set, the days that we were shooting The Admired, we had our share of issues. He and the guys had to pick up a moving van truck and move it so we could get out. We had a tsunami hit us when we were shooting in Malibu, and the lighting guys couldn't get the truck up the hill. And I said, we are doing this today. We were shooting in John Stamos's old house in Calabasas that he sold to my friend. And you have to be creative. So I said, everybody here, most people have SUVs, right? I said, take the equipment out of the van, put them in the SUVs so you could get up the hill, and we're doing this. And we did it. The camera broke. This camera here, the one that he has around his neck, somehow, maybe, I don't know what happened, but I knew another cameraman who lived close by. I called him up, Lawrence Lee. I said, Lawrence, can you bring your red Dragon here? He said yes. He came down, saved the day. We had an hour break. We broke for lunch. I'm like a first-time director, and these things are happening, and you're almost like, it's surreal, Priscilla. It's like, oh my God, I got to deal with this though.
You're a troubleshooter. You're a troubleshooter. Well, you get her done.
It's like when I was a nurse, things happen. And it's like triage, I'm not letting the patient die, not letting my phone die. It's not going to happen.
I see. My movie. Well, it sounds like you are living your best life, your only life. So I hope it's your best life. And we look forward to seeing big things, more big things, because you've already done big things. I mean, what more do you want, Jacqueline Murphy? You're already living the life that most people would sell their soul for, so you should be happy. But
that's why I did the movie.
That's right. That's right. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I could interview you till the end of time. I'm going to beg you next year to come on my show because
to beg. I'm here.
Yeah. Jacqueline, we got to do a Christmas movie together. Because I can see you as Mrs. Santa Claus. I can see it.
Me?
No, not because you're big, but because you would be like a sexy Mrs. Santa Claus. You would be like the Santa Claus where there's Mrs. Claus and then Santa's seeing a sexy Mrs. Claus and then Santa Claus makes you dress up like Mrs. Claus, but you're too sexy. So he's like, okay, I got to end it. Oh, God, I'm creating a whole Christmas movie.
My God. You write that. You write that and let me know. But I would be more like the fairy godmother who cut like the good, like Glinda. Who's the good witch in the Wizard?
Glinda.
Down and I will give everybody, like a little.
But don't you think you look so hot and sexy in that Miss Claus with the short? I'm talking like thigh-high little fur skirt here. I think that's what we need to put you in, the sexy thing. Yeah. Sexy Santa. Sexy Santa.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. And please let me know when you have updates on your projects so that I can, advertise them on my show. I can say, hey, Jacqueline Murphy's movie's coming out. We gotta support her. We gotta support that girl. All right. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Oh my God. I want to meet you in person because Rico just came from Chicago and I said, well, what did you do? I was sick or else I usually go out with him and hang out. And he said, oh, I was with Jacqueline Murphy and we did this and that and this. So the next time Rico comes from Chicago, can we do dinner up in here? We got to hit the dinner table.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, that would be great. Well, please
keep doing what you're doing because we need people like you. Oh, you're such an inspiration. And not only that, you give great tips, advice, and resource information, which is what my show is all about. So thank you for incorporating that.
You're so welcome. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jacqueline.
Everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Priscilla, thank you. And thank you for all your wonderful questions and preparedness and doing all this research. And it was just fun.
Yeah. And I look forward to us having dinner. We're going to talk more Marilyn. We're going to talk Jean Harlow up in here. Yes. Eddie Davis, too, with our pocketbooks. Okay, honey. See you later.
Bye.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona.